Hey guys, it's Ia back again with another video from my Dreamscape Diaries from my dream journal. This is going to be episode 4, and it's going to be another short one, but I have to put a disclaimer. Like I said, I have to get accustomed to putting disclaimers in the beginning of my videos. First and foremost, how are you guys? I'm so happy that you are back. If you haven't been to my channel before and you're just a newcomer, you're curious, please take the time to look at my other videos and see what I have to offer. I can just run through it very quickly. I do like to talk about dreams that I have. I do have prophetic dreams. I like to break them down and do dream interpretations and hear what other people have to say about certain dream interpretations. I also, in the future, I'm going to be adding more videos regarding spiritual baths and cleanses and like little tips and tricks here and there dealing with spirituality. Also, I have meditation videos with like meditation music. Not me meditating, but meditation music in particular. And I also have an Herbal Basics 101 playlist as well. And, as time goes on, I may add new playlists, new things, as I research things and find out about more interesting topics to add to the channel. I'll definitely add them to the channel. People can definitely feel free to leave in the comment section below. Excuse me. Leave in the comment section below any ideas they may have, for my channel. If they feel like there's something I should discuss or a certain topic that they would like for me to cover, and I can just look into that, and maybe in the future that could possibly be another topic to explore if I don't touch on it already. But it's a learning experience for me, for you guys, and I like it. I think it's a way to help the collective and to uplift people and at the same time learn something new. Well, of course, teaching. It's all about teaching. So each one teach one, y'all. So anyway, let me jump into the disclaimer very quickly. I am not a medical healthcare professional. I am not a licensed mental health professional either. If you are experiencing any kind of mental distress at this time, please see your mental health care provider. If you are experiencing any kind of pain, any kind of injury of any sort, please seek out your primary care physician, a specialist, someone who is licensed in that area. I am not. My videos are for entertainment purposes only and to educate people. So please take it with a grain of salt. My videos are not the end all be all. I just hope to teach and entertain people. That's pretty much what it is. So, yeah, don't just take a YouTube video and go crazy and make huge life decisions, So anyway, I want to jump into this video now. So I was just reading over this journal entry and I realized it's a little frisky. It's a little saucy. A little saucy. So there's some parts where I'm going to be, I guess you can say more careful language, if you will, to explain certain things, because I'm not trying to get banned or flagged or fined on YouTube or whatever they call it on YouTube, so I'm going to switch around some words. And as usual, I'm not going to put anyone's name in it. I don't call out people's names. I'm not messy like that. But I will give you the scenario and how it pertains to me. And hopefully in the comment section, you guys can let me know maybe how it may pertain to you. Are there people in your life that sound like the people in my dreams? Because sometimes, the dreams ain't all about you. You may feel like it's happening to you, or maybe it did happen to you, in your waking life and waking hours. But sometimes a lot of the prophetic dreams that you get are oftentimes about other people and what other people may be going through. And they may be going through similar situations, but just in a slightly different kind of way, with some of the details are a little tweaked. So let's get into this journal entry number 4. And as usual, if you see me looking down a lot, it's because I am referring to my journal and making sure that I use the proper words here on YouTube so I don't get banned. Because like I said, this one is a little saucy. Actually, a lot of my dreams lately have been a little saucy. So I'm trying very hard to make sure I clean it up a bit. But you will understand what I'm talking about. I'll make sure you understand what I'm talking about. And yeah, I have my little head wrap on today because I'm still taking my spiritual bath. So I'm wearing my all white and stuff. Well, besides my cardigan, I don't have a white robe or cardigan, unfortunately. But light colors will suffice. Light colors. That's another pro tip. When you take your baths, not only dress in all white. Like I said, that it depends on what you follow, what your religious views are. Should you choose to take baths, it's not mandatory, but it is something that is preferred to wear all white, or if at the very least wear light colors. Okay, because the idea is you want to attract good things and anything associated with the light and purity and softness and warmth. So again, it's about intention and symbolism. So light colors, positivity, good things, that's what I'm trying to, attract. So that's what it is. So I had a dream that I was in a dorm room or a bedroom of mine in an apartment or something like that. It was either a dorm or an apartment. And I was there with an acquaintance who I used to be close with. I'm gonna just say it like that, close with in an intimate kind of way. Okay, like I said, this is gonna be a little saucy. And he was there, and I was running around flustered, trying to find some casual clothes to wear for a job interview. And I was told by another acquaintance of mine, or a friend of mine, that the interview was apparently for 8 a.m. I was running late and I was wearing the wrong shirt. So I rushed over to my dresser and pulled out a better shirt. I was wearing jeans, the t-shirt, and some sneakers because I pulled out a t-shirt. I ended up settling on a t-shirt and I pulled it out of my drawer. Now, in that moment, I'm thinking to myself, like, it was weird. Like, okay, I'm dressed super casual, but then I accidentally, I guess, put on a dress shirt because I'm thinking that it's that sort of interview, like maybe for an office job or something. Maybe that's what I was told. And it's like last minute, I'm being told like, oh, no, don't wear anything dressy. Be more casual, like dress down, jeans, t-shirt kind of situation, sneakers kind of situation. And it's because I'm finding out that it's more like a warehouse gig. Again, I mean, I've applied for jobs in warehouses before, but I've never actually worked in a warehouse before. So that was interesting. So that's why I said it may not pertain to me. I may be seeing it through someone else's eyes, or maybe about someone else completely. I don't know. So, so this acquaintance of mine who I've been intimate before, like in real life, they happened to be there in my dorm or in my room, my bedroom or whatever, in this apartment or this dorm, whatever it was. And they were like sitting on my bed. And it's like, as I'm rummaging through my drawers and going crazy, trying to get ready for this interview, it's like, they're watching me. They're watching me. And I'm getting the feeling like it's in a very lustful manner, very lustful eyes. Like I feel like I'm being undressed with this person's eyes. And I guess at some point I give in a little bit. And like I lay down on the bed and we start getting a little freaky. I'm not going to say what was being done, but in the middle of it, I stopped him and I'm like, you know what? Hey, I'm running late. I got to get out of here. And I don't know why, but this weird detail kind of like popped up in the middle of when we were starting to kind of get frisky on the bed. This little detail popped up that this person particularly likes women who are very well endowed up top, because they like doing certain things with women who are well endowed up top, if you get what I mean. But I ain't have time for that. I said, I got to go get this money. So I got up off that bed quick, put my sneakers on, and I was out of there. So I told him I had to go. And I get to the job site, like I said, and I find out that, because I'm in the impression of that it's only one position and it's just me being interviewed. So then I get there and I find out, oh no, it's like a group interview kind of thing. And I guess there are other positions. Now, there was this black man that was sitting next to me. He was older. And he looked like he could be maybe in his 50s. And I turned to him and I asked him, hey, do you know why we're here? You know, what the interview is for? Like, do you know anything about what's going on? Because I thought it was just like a one-on-one interview. So this is very odd to me. And he was basically like, oh, I don't know. Like, I have no idea what's going on. Because I was like, you know, what are the other positions? I didn't know there were other positions. And he was like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so like I said, I was assuming that it was only me that was being interviewed and that it was only one position that was being offered. So, and again, it was for like a factory warehouse thing. And that's why the choice in outfit, where something told me, or an acquaintance, a friend told me, hey, you know, when they were reminding me that the interview was for 8 a.m, they said, hey, make sure you dress down. So after that, we're sitting at like this conference room table, this long conference room table. And I see these 2 Latina women and a boss of mine at the time at a place that I actually worked at in real life. She was sitting in the middle, but there were 2 Latina women. One was sitting on the side of the woman, my boss, ex-boss that was interviewing, and the other Latina woman was sitting across from them as if she were being interviewed or something. So now next thing I know, the Latina woman sitting next to my ex-boss is like, I know you. Like, she starts getting hysterical. Like, I know you. You work at La Quinta, at the hotel La Quinta. You do. And the Hispanic woman being, I guess, interviewed or sitting across from her, she gets heated and she gets up and she starts yelling back at her like, no, I don't. And they're going back and forth. I don't know why this is such a huge deal. I have no idea. Mind you, my ex-boss is sitting in the middle, like not saying anything, not doing anything. I just see her. Okay. But like I said, I'm going to touch on something at the end to kind of make things come full circle. Listen, of course, they start arguing. And then, all right, so then there's this big just uproar of confusion and chaos, and both of the ladies start fighting. So I'm like, oh crap. So I jump up out my chair from the table and I move away. So when I go to move away, there's this young girl who just appeared out of nowhere. This young, like, white girl. She had to be about 10 years old or something like that. And she got so, like, scared and flustered. And she fell back onto the floor. And I just remember her, like, her face being all red. She's crying. She's scared. She's shaking. And I go over to her. And, you know, I feel bad. So I help her up off the ground, like, to get up. And as she's standing up, I noticed that she's shaking all over. Her arms, her hands are shaking. Her legs are shaking. She could barely even walk. And I'm like, what? Like, what on earth is going on? Like, what is this? And she's like just hyperventilating. And then as I'm consoling her and, you know, walking her across the room, the person who I had a situationship with, the one I was getting freaky with on the bed in the beginning of the dream, he appears there and he's on a laptop. And I'm like, what the heck is he doing in my interview? Like, why is he here? Like, I left him at my dorm, or I left him at my room, or wherever I was in the beginning of the dream. So why is he here? And sorry if you guys hear my stomach. I had just finished having some Chinese food. It was so good. Anyway, so sorry if you hear my stomach growling. But yeah, so I'm like, why is he here in my interview? And once this whole uproar happens and I'm helping this little girl off the ground, I notice that one minute he's there, the next minute he's not. Okay. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm walking the little girl over to like this exit or like this hallway or something like that. And as I help her, like, get across the room to this hallway, That's when I look back and I noticed that the guy I was in the situationship, he's gone. His computer, everything's gone. He's just gone. I walked the little girl over to this very elderly looking white woman. And the way she was dressed was very like Victorian like. It was very old fashioned. Very, very old fashioned. Again, I'm going to touch on these things at the end of the video. So I walked the little girl over to this elderly white woman who was dressed differently, Victorian like. And I could tell she wasn't there for the job interview. She was wearing like this red velvet material Victorian style dress, and it was long with like the poof sleeves. Think of like the wicked stepmother in Cinderella. You remember exactly how that woman looked? Minus the evil face. Like she didn't look evil at all. She didn't feel evil to me. But you remember like the dress that the wicked stepmother wore? Like she had like the poofy sleeves, this Victorian style. It was like really long. You know, it had like the bodice, and it was red. It was a red dress, and it was velvety. And then it had like this white lace trimming on the dress and on the cuffs. Excuse me. Now her hair was white or gray, and it was shaped like, you know, in Bram Stoker's Dracula. You ever seen the Bram Stoker's Dracula movie? Or like I said, exactly like the evil stepmother in Cinderella, in the Disney film Cinderella. The cartoon, you know how she has like that bouffant like hairstyle that's like shaped like a heart and it's like poofed, and she had all very Marie Antoinette. There you go, Marie Antoinette style, and she had all these strings of white pearls strung like across this bouffant heart like shaped hairdo, right? And all she asked me was, hey, do you know where somebody went? She didn't specifically say who she was referring to, but she was like, hey, do you know where they went? And I don't know who they is, but that's all she asked me. And she didn't say who she was or who she was talking about, but I felt she may have been referring to, I guess, the guy that I had the situationship that disappeared with his laptop, that magically appeared at my job interview. Like, why are you here? So I just said to her, I don't know. So that's the end of the entry for that. Now, let's get into the interpretation. Boy, oh boy. Let's start from the beginning. In the beginning of this dream, we have, you know, the lustful eyes and stuff like that. Now, while I've been going through this personally myself, there may be some of you out there that have someone watching you again, even with the part where my, the guy I had a situation with that I was getting freaky with, when he came to my job interview and he was on a laptop. Be mindful of people watching y'all with lustful eyes. There's people out there that be watching you with lustful eyes, or even watching me with lustful eyes, but they don't mean well. It's all just lust. That's all it really is. And they're watching you every move. Or if it's not in a intimate manner or in a lustful manner that they're watching you, it's more like they're just watching you. They're watching your every move. You don't know who they know, who they're reporting back to. You have no clue. You know, or maybe you do have an idea. Like I have an idea who these people are in my life, for me, in my situation. Moving forward, the thing with the job, like the confusion around the job, like 1 minute I was wearing one thing, like it may be a clerical job, but then I find out it's a warehouse job. It's like, maybe some of you, just like myself, you know, and I think a lot of people have gone through this, you know, you sign up for a job, you go through the onboarding, you come in, you get hired, whatever. And then your boss ends up putting hence the reason why my boss at the time, my ex-boss, was in this dream at the conference table. You find out that this person just wants you to be there to help build whatever they have. Like, you know, they're going to have you wear 1,000,001 different hats. So you think you're coming in for one thing, but you may be coming in for something else, you know, or you're going to be bombarded with a bunch of different tasks and duties at your job. So a lot of you, if you're going for certain job interviews and such like that, ask those hard-hitting questions. Like, really ask questions. Find out what the work culture is there and exactly what's going to be expected of you. And, you know, just know your worth. Know your worth, you know. And I had to learn this too, going for different jobs, working at different places, and you find out, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. You know, they got me good. They got me real good. And, yeah, so that was interesting to me. Now, it's funny how the whole thing ties into confusion of, well, what position am I going for? And then I go to the interview. I'm seeing more people there, finding out there's more positions. And I'm like, wait, what? And the two Spanish women that start arguing about, oh, I know where you work. I know where you work. You work at La Quinta. You work at that hotel. Da, da, da. Again, if it's not about pertaining to you and your job, or in my situation, me and a job, that could also pertain to someone just accusing you of something that you're not doing, or being somewhere where you weren't at, you were never there. I think it's a possibility, especially like in my case, I think people are arguing about me, or they could be arguing about you behind your back. They think they know you. That's what it more gave the vibe of. That's why these, like the other Spanish woman sitting across was like so offended, because she's just like, what do you mean? Like I don't work at La Quinta. I don't work there. Like, what do you know? Like, what are you talking about? And why are you trying to make it seem like I work somewhere that I don't? And I'm in a job interview here with you, you know? So be mindful of people trying to steal opportunities from you. Because like I said, I feel like I'm experiencing that myself now. Like certain people watching, trying to see what my next move is going to be and how can they attack it. You know, what lies can they tell and all kinds of business. Like, bull crap like that. Let's see, as we go down the line, like I said, the guy who I had the situationship from the beginning of the dream, and then he was in the interview again. It's like people trying to spy and find out this and find out that, and then when they get what they want, they disappear. After they get whatever information to tell the ops, they disappear. So be mindful of that. Move in silence. Be very mindful who you're telling your business to and what your next moves are going to be too. So moving along. Now, the little white girl that fell back out of her seat when this uproar happened, this fight between the two Spanish women happened. At the time when I told my grandmother about this dream, like, she's a great dream interpreter herself too. Oftentimes she and I kind of have a little, I wouldn't say a friend, like a competition, but we'll like kind of go back and forth and be like, hey, so I had this dream. What do you think? I want to hear what you think before I tell you what I think, you know? And we'll go back and forth with it and play off of each other. And sometimes my grandmother's interpretations, you know, are very, very different from mine. And this is why this is why I started this particular series, because everybody's interpretations were so different, you know, like everybody's interpretations are very different. And like me and my grandmother, when we would go back and forth, bounce ideas off of what this meant, what that meant, you know, it could be very different from mine and mine can be very different from hers. You know what I mean? So I remember when I asked her, she said, you know, I think the little girl represented your inner child, and you're trying to get back on your feet. You're trying to be, stabilize yourself. And, the fact that the girl was very emotional, you know, I think you're just trying to find your footing. It's like your inner child trying to find its footing again, and its stability again, its equilibrium again, and reconnecting with that. And I say, you know what? That sounds actually about right. That's the one time. I'm gonna say it's the one time, but I agreed with her on this one. I was like, okay, I could see that. Now, what about this woman dressed, this mysterious white woman, older white woman dressed very Victorian-like in these old-timey clothes and stuff like that? Now, fun fact, to go to my gym, I would walk through a cemetery near my house. And as a spiritualist, you are very sensitive to certain spirits and stuff like that when you're walking through a cemetery. And I know my grandmother's had that experience. I don't think I've had that experience, but she's told me about it. So I guess I kind of see where she's coming from, where you walk by or through a cemetery, and if you're somebody who is highly empathetic and someone who's like a sponge for these energies, they want to attach themselves to you. They want to come home with you. They want to ask you all kinds of questions like, hey, have you seen so-and-so? And that's probably why the older woman that this wearing this Victorian clothes, this is probably the reason why she said, hey, do you know where so-and-so is? Or do you know where they went or whatever? Now in a dream, I thought she was referring to the guy that I had a situationship with, but it could have been she was trying to reach out to me through dream state about a loved one. Like, hey, do you know my loved one? Do you know, maybe the little girl was her loved one. I don't know. And all I remember is like reuniting the little girl with the old woman at the end of this dream. And that was that. But yeah, like I said, this dream is up for so many interpretations. And, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. I told you what I think. And as it pertains to my personal life and what I've been going through. And, yeah, I think that's all I have as far as the interpretations for this dream. Yeah, lustful people, a lot of eyes on you, move in silence. Be careful who you vent to, who you tell your plans to. And be mindful of jobs trying to play you. Don't let them play you. Ask the right questions. Really find out about the work culture and what they are expecting. And pay attention to the history of the place of employment. That says a lot as well. Like, do they have a high turnover? Like, look at that as well. Because that's a situation that I went through with my ex-boss that was in this dream. I found out, it was a startup facility, mental health facility, and working there, over 7 of us ended up just picking up and walking out, just quitting all at once within the course of like a week, because she was using us. She was using us to essentially build up the bones to her business, and wasn't paying anybody right, and didn't really want to hire anybody who was a licensed physician to carry out certain duties. It was a mental health facility. She didn't want to hire the proper people. And then the ones that she did manage to hire, they were just kind of like, this place is unorganized and it's a mess. Like, oh no. And then we heard a few other stories through the grapevine that I'm not going to get into, but it was just very telling. And the writing was on the wall for everybody. Oh, and not to mention there were discrepancies in people's pay. We were not getting paid what we were promised. Then she was piling different duties on everybody. Like it was just crazy. It was so unorganized. Certain systems and operations were not in place to run things smoothly. And then our boss would kind of just deflect and act like this is because she doesn't have good help around. Like, this is everyone else's fault. No accountability. And, yeah, that's that. I'm not going to put her name or her business on blast. I God bless her. I hope she figures it out, because you can't keep treating people that way. And I hope she understands that she hurt people that were working there for her, who had good intentions and wanted to be there, But this is what happens when you have poor management, poor communication, poor leadership. People will leave and look for something better. And I learned from that experience. But anyway, whoa, that was a tangent. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I think that concludes this video. This one is pretty long. Oof, I'm past the 30-minute mark. Baby, I gotta go. I'm about to eat the rest of my Chinese food. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this entry. Like always, like I say, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me what you think what the interpretation is. Do you think I interpreted it right? Yeah, just let me know what you think. Do not be afraid to chime in, and please be respectful in the comments so I don't have to block you. I don't want to have to block people. I don't. So, yeah, keep it respectful, keep it smooth, keep it cool. And thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Dreamscape Diaries. And thank you for visiting my channel. As always, I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. And I wish you guys well. And yeah, so peace out for me. Bye. Modupe.